nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
Let's keep going. What we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about colonialism today. So, I touched on this a little bit last week. But colonialism, y'all, is basically the word used for how the great expedition, I guess, of the West, of basically the fourth beast. So that's all the European powers. And how they basically very successfully took over the world almost, generally speaking. By going out conquering and to conquer. But do y'all know that they literally they literally was just trying to be like the Most High? You know that Yahuwah is the ultimate colonist. Did I say that right? What did they say in Black Panther? Didn't they say they called the dude a colonist, the white guy? Colonizer, that's what it is. Colonizer, dang. The Most High, the original colonizer. This is just using it as an analogy. We know that that's on a whole nother level. It's, just bear with me. I know the Most High owns everything, so that's different. But just roll with me. This is an analogy. Don't get sensitive now. Don't get sensitive. He's the ultimate colonizer. The nations got that from the Most High. Is my point. Of course, they take things and they pervert it. They misconstrue it. They move in wickedness with the thing. We know that. But hear me out though. The point is, we just looking up here. We're not looking at the specific. We're looking up here right now. And the point is, colonization. They took that from the Most High. Adam and Eve were colonizers. I know, man, it's wild. But think about it. Think about it. Adam and Eve were colonizers, y'all. We don't got to go there for time, but if you go to Genesis 1, we read it many times, Yahuwah told Adam to be fruitful, multiply, have dominion, and subdue the earth. Or was it the other way around? Yeah. Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. Yahuwah said he took Adam and Eve and he placed them in the garden. He placed them in Eden. Well, he took Adam, but then he created Eve out of Adam, and then he told them to be fruitful, multiply, have dominion, and subdue Haaretz. That was their job. The earth was always supposed to be for the Kodashim of Yahuwah. When you look at the breakdown of the word for Aretz, it was a stronghold for Yahuwah's people in a sense. Stronghold for his heads, for Yahuwah and his heads. Mm-hmm. The earth was always was designed to be colonized by the Kodashim. And the enemy knew that. Why do you think he tried to counteract that? By doing what? Colonizing the earth. That was the enemy's way to try to counteract the Most High. Why do you think the main people that they tried to colonize was the Yahuwah's people who were prophesied to colonize the earth? This stuff is way deeper than we think, man. Why do you think the main target, as far as colonization, was Yahuwah's people? Because the enemy knows. We're not talking about individuals. Remember, your battle is not with flesh and blood, is it?
No. Right.
It's with the ruachs, the principalities, the spiritual entities in high places. So you gotta look behind, you gotta look through the individuals. They may not have known what they was doing. It was the ruachs pushing them to do what they was doing. It was because they knew who was prophesied to subdue the earth. It was the people who were son of man, sons of Adam, from that bloodline. The people of Adam. All right, let's keep going. All right, so let's look at something. So we're gonna do. So we got Mushal, right? Mashal. That means ruler, governor, dominion. We talked about this and how it's about the nations being pressed by the shepherd, but it's also about the splitting of the waters with the staff, right? Y'all remember that? It's about the waters, but it's about the splitting of the waters by the staff. And it's also about the splitting of the languages. You remember we talked about that? Because the many waters means peoples, nations, and tongues. Revelation, come. So, what did the colonizers do? What did they do when they colonized much of the world? When they colonized our people, when they colonized the Hebrews who were spread across the continent of Africa, one of the things they did, y'all know what they did? They split up their languages. You know they did that? Like literally, a European nation will come, they'll take a piece of Africa, they'll establish the borders. They don't care what tribes are there. And then they will establish the language there. Okay, this is, French is what we're speaking here. That's why you can go to Senegal today and they speak French. They ain't none of their native tongues over there. And yeah, I know a lot of them still, speak their native tongue as well. But no, they went over there and split up the languages of the people all around the world. What do we speak? How come we don't speak our native tongue? Because we was colonized. We've been in captivity. That's how it works. But see, who was the first one to split up the languages? Who was the first one to establish languages and say, y'all gonna speak this language, y'all gonna speak that language? Was it the colonizers? It was Yahuwah, wasn't it? We know the scriptures. We know what happened in Babylon. Babel, oh snap, Babylon. And now you got the nations trying to be like Yahuwah. They're going and they saying, yep, y'all gonna speak this language, y'all gonna speak that language. And it looks like it almost looked like they've been successful at it. How you gonna go to Africa and they speak English in this country, the next country they speak in French, the next country they speak in Spanish, literally. Like literally. You go to Guinea-Bissau, they speak Portuguese there, man. They speak Portuguese. How, Sway? Oh, we need, where's Jay? Jay going? Okay. Yeah. Now China licking their chops right now. They're going over there. Oh, yeah, you feel me? Look, we'll give you all this stuff. They're going to be over there speaking Chinese now. Oh, Chinese ain't a language, is it? Mandarin, that's what it is. That's interesting. That's their culture, yeah. Mandarin, okay. You know how ignorant we used to say speak Chinese. But yeah, the point is, hold on, man, y'all making me laugh. I'm trying to be serious. But the point is that they see the ways of the Most High, and they literally, I'm talking about, that's literally what they don't come up with nothing, man. They don't come up with nothing on their own. They ain't come up with none of this stuff on their own. They literally trying to do what the Most High, move it like the Most High. All right. So then we got Musha or Moshe. That's how you spell Moshe, but y'all notice we'll say Musha as well. But it's the same word, it's the same spelling, it's the same thing. That's about separating the waters by the wind. That's about separating the waters by the Ruach. The separating the waters by the Ruach. It's about separating the waters so something can be revealed. You know the hay means to reveal as well, right? We through, y'all? Y'all know that the hay means to reveal as well, right? Y'all know that, huh? Oh, man, we might have to go back through a Hebrew lesson. The hay also can mean to reveal. And so the separating of waters is also about separating the waters so something that can be revealed. And what is that something? It's so the earth can be revealed. The splitting of the waters for the earth to be revealed. That's what you saw in Genesis 1 in creation. That's what you saw when Yahuwah has taken the Israelites out of captivity, out of Egypt. He split the water so the dry land would appear, would be revealed. Then we got Mashiach. That's about the nations being crushed by the arm of Yahuwah within the gates. So this is all about the waters being split, the nations being split, the waters being subdued, the nations being subdued. It's all about that. We looked at the word shim. That's just mem shim flipped the other way, flipped backwards or flipped around. So instead of mem sheen, it's just sheen mem. That's shim. That's the word for name. Shim is about being set apart from everyone else. It's just about being set apart from everyone else, set apart from the nations. That's shim. It's like being distinguished from everyone else. That's why when you give someone a name, it's like, okay, now I'm distinguishing you, making you an individual, basically. Giving them a name is distinguishing you from everybody else. That's why the best way to take away somebody's individuality is by taking away their name. That's why when people go to jail, what happens? They take away their name. No, you number 3473. 3473, come out. We don't care about your name. You don't got a name here. You in prison. They're taking away all individuality. You see what I'm saying? So when you get a shim, that's separate. That's giving you that's distinguishing you from everybody else. That makes sense?
And Musha, they did the same thing with our ancestors.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Did y'all get what she was saying? I got one though. Yeah. So in slavery, when we were taken down here on ships, the first thing they did was take away our names. The first thing, you wasn't allowed to speak no native language. Now, your name is John now. And you know what? You know what your last name is? Your last name is my last name because you know what? You're property of Babylon now. Your soul belongs to me. That goes back to Revelation 18, what we just talked about. So I'm putting my name on you. So y'all see the significance when Yahusha says, for my name is on you? The heathen did that to us. They were trying to be like Yahuwah. The nations did that to us. Y'all, me and y'all remember when we went to, we were coming from Yeshayahu and Yirmiyahu. Do y'all remember when we were coming from Augusta and we visited the Patrick Plantation? Between Augusta and Atlanta? That's where our name came from. The people who owned that, from that same family that owned that plantation. And it's still there. They literally put, they put their name on you because they owned your souls. But then there's scriptures that say once you join in with Yahusha, once you purchase by Yahusha, he said he puts his name on you. But for him to put his name on you, you gotta get out of Babylon. You got to renounce and denounce Babylon. You got to renounce and denounce Gudon, all that stuff. So that's why the word for oil is so important. I put an H there. Shemin. Yeah, I fixed it. This is why. So this is interesting, y'all. This is interesting. So we talked about how shim, the word for name, that distinguishes you from everybody else. So when you anoint somebody with shemin, with the oil, what does it do? Isn't that when you're set apart for a specific work? When you're distinguished and set apart to do a function or a work, you're anointed. So they're related to each other. But I want y'all to keep this in mind with shemin, the word for oil, because it's very, very significant. Because we know that oil, most of the time, oil comes from the olive in the scriptures most of the time. There's other oils as well, but at least like when you're talking about in the tabernacle and and things like that, and the anointing, they're using olive oil. For the menorah, that's olive oil. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why what we talked about a while ago in March, how the olive tree, that's the tree of life. Because that's the tree of life. That's the tree where you get the anointing oil from, which symbolizes the Ruach HaKodesh. So this is the word for heaven. Shamayim. This is the word for oil. Shemin. Y'all seeing what I'm saying here? This is the word for heaven. Shamayim. The only difference is the yod, like he just said. This actually shows why the oil or supports that the oil symbolizes the Ruach HaKodesh, because the Ruach is of the Shamayim. You see what I'm saying? The Ruach comes from Yahuwah. The Ruach is of the Shamayim. So the Shamayim, so the Shin, it means to press, to crush, to separate, to divide, to distinguish, etc. The Shin. And then you have Ma'im. Ma'im. Y'all, look at this. Shamayim. Ma'in means kind. Go to Genesis 1 real quick. Genesis 1, Mishpacha.
Hallelujah.
All right, so what we're going to look at day 3, okay? So that starts with verse 9. We're going to look at day 3 in creation. We went through this enough to where hopefully y'all kind of get the grasp of a lot of the days in the creation week. So we're going to start with verse 9. Let's go. Everybody there? All right.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 9. Then Elohim said, "Let the waters under the Shamayim be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear."
So this is about the waters being separated here. Day 3, right? Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
And it was so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, or Eretz, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was thub.
So this is about this gathering of the waters, the splitting of the waters. So we're when you think about that, all you can think about Shim, Musha, Mashal, all those things, the depression of the waters, the splitting of the waters. You can think about all that when you read about day 3, but day 3 is not over. We focused on the splitting of the waters when we read day 3 in the past, but let's look what else happened on day 3. Verse 11.
Verse 11. Then Elohim said, let the arets bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind.
According to what?
According to its kind.
That's ma'im. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Keep going.
Whose seed is in itself on the arets, and it was so. And the
Shamayim is literally about separating based on its kind. That's how you know the way Yahuwah was moving. That's what the kingdom of the Shamayim is about. It's about things. That's like the job of Adam was literally to shim. Was literally to separate based on his kind, to name. Shem is sheen mem, separating people, separating each thing based on his kind. That's why he was naming them to distinguish them. To distinguish each thing based on its function and its kind. You get what I'm saying? That's the kingdom of heaven. See what the Most High was doing? He was establishing heaven on earth. That's what Eden was about. That's what Adam and Eve was doing. That's what Yahuwah was doing through Adam and Eve and through what Yahuwah was doing. That's what he was doing in his creation. He was distinguishing everything based on his kind. Did Adam name the trees? What was his function to do? So basically, Yahuwah had Adam help him in his creation work. But Yahuwah named the other stuff, though. He handled the other stuff. But he's like, Adam, yeah, I'm going to have you to do the animals and stuff, though. It's like he had Adam help him take a part in the creation process. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, whatever you name, that's going to be the name. Just tell me. And I'm going to handle the rest of this stuff over here. That's powerful, though. Shamayim, separating based on its kind. That's what you see in Shamayim. Now, another word for heaven, that's H8065. Then you can go to H8064. It's Shamayim. Shamayim. So what's the word for water in Hebrew? Ma'im. So you got the sheen and then ma'im, right? It's back to what we just talked about, right? It's literally the word that's literally like shim, basically. Because it's separating the waters. So shamayim means to separate or pull out of the waters. So when you're talking about the kingdom of heaven consists of a people who were separated and or pulled out of the waters. This is giving you an idea of what the kingdom of heaven really is. The kingdom of the Shamayim is a people who've been separated or pulled out of the marine kingdom. Separated or pulled out of Babylon. They've been separated. They've been distinguished. They've been sifted and taken out. They've been pulled out of Babylon. That's why when it says, come out of her, my people, that's not no option. That's the only way you're going to make it to the kingdom. Because the people of the kingdom are those who've been pulled, who came out of Babylon. Those are those who've been separated and pulled out of the ma'im, out of the waters. That's what ma'im means, water. Shamayim. You got the ma'im below. That's the nations. That's the the world. And then above you got the shamayim. That's the people who are. That's why it says that the white horse they're following Yahushua, but it says they're following him in where? That's all right, because you know what? I knew y'all might not remember it, but it's okay, because I got it right here, though. It's through. It's so through. So it says the people with the white horse. I just started from the. I'll just go fast till I see it. Now I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. His eyes were like a flame of fire. On his head were many crowns, and his name written that no one knew except himself. He was clothed with a robe dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Allure. And the armies in heaven clothed in fine linen. Oh, there it goes. And the armies were. And the armies in.
Shamim.
And the armies in heaven, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on the white horses. And they talking about us. But it's saying we there. Somebody spoke, that was Uriah who spoke about that. Your eternal self, where is it? Mm-hmm. We the people of heaven. We the people of the Shamim. We are of the armies of Yahuwah in heaven. That's the kingdom that we are a part of. That makes sense? All right. So that's one. So there's several. So Shamaim is deep because you got to look at this multiple ways. When it comes to the breakdown of Hebrew words, there's multiple ways to look at it. So I looked at it from the perspective of Shamaim, to be separated from the waters, to be pulled out of the nations. That's the kingdom of that's who the citizens of the Shamaim. That's who the people in heaven that we just talked about. Follow on a white horse were the people who were pulled out of Babylon, who were pulled out of the Maim, pulled out of the marine kingdom. But another way to look at it, it's also about, so now this is a letter by letter breakdown. It's about pressing the nations and having power over the nations. It's about pressing the nations and having power over the nations. It's basically about, this is what's crazy, it's basically about having dominion over the marine kingdom, y'all. The kingdom of the Shamaim, the Shamaim is about having dominion over the marine kingdom, y'all. It's wild. It's wild, y'all. It's about the splitting of waters. It's about the splitting of waters. So, does anybody know what Yod Mem means? Yam? That's true. But Yam. Oh, yeah. So, leadership, you know. But all praise to the Most High that, so it also, you got Shim and Yam, don't you, for Shamaim? Naming the seas. It's about having dominion over the seas. Having authority over the seas. You see what I'm saying? Did y'all know that the nations try to do that? You know, that's what the colonizers, they go and take a land and then they'll name the land after themselves, don't they? They'll discover some seas and they'll name the seas. They'll name the seas. It's them trying to exercise their authority. See, the nations are trying to have authority over Haaretz and the seas. And it's the Most High's people who is supposed to have that authority and dominion. Look at what it says here in let's look about Eden, Bereshit chapter 2. This is about Eden. Now look what it says here. Let's see if this hits different for y'all. Hananiah, you about to get a spanking. Quiet. Oh, well, she needs to be quiet anyway. All right. Verse 10. Now a river went out of Eden. So this is talking about Eden. Now just think about what we just talked about when I read this. Now a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it parted and became 4 riverheads. So even Eden is associated with separating the waters. That word parted literally means divided or split. You look it up in Hebrew. It's like parah or something. Parah. Literally in Eden, they was dividing the waters, y'all. Yahuwah set up Eden to divide the waters. Eden was associated with the splitting of the waters. All right, let's keep going. Matthew chapter 4. Verse 18, it says, and Yahusha, walking by the Sea of Galilee, go ahead and read that, Hadassah. Verse 18, can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Matthew chapter 4, verse 18. And Yahusha, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw 2 brothers, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea.
So they casted something. Y'all know that's a word, right? Mm-hmm. They casted a net into the sea. Keep going.
For they were fishermen.
They were what?
They were fishermen.
Aren't fishermen people who go and pull things out of the water? They go and they use a shim, which is some sort of tool, to catch things and to pull it out of the water. Separating things from the water, right? All right, let's keep going. Y'all just keep that in mind, because that's what shamim is. That's in the word shamim. So shamim is basically, let's keep reading. Verse 19. I'm going ahead of myself.
Verse 19. Then he said to them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
Fishers of who?
Fishers of men.
How can you be fishers of men when you fish and you for fish? It's because what Yahusha is trying to tell them is that I'm going to make you a part of the kingdom of the shamim, which is about pulling things out of the water. But you're going to be pulling men out of the water. In other words, you're going to be pulling people out of the nations. You're going to be catching people and bringing them into the kingdom of the shamim. Y'all see how wild this is? Because we got to see what this means as far as being a part of the people of the shamim. Verse 20.
They immediately left their nets and followed him. Going on from there, he saw 2 other brothers.
No plan B. That was big.
Yeah, no
I caught that too. That's big though. They threw them nets and they came. Keep going.
Going on from there, he saw 2 other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, in the boat with Zebedee, their father, mending their nets.
They all was fishermen. These are the people Yahushua chose for his top disciples. All of them was fishermen. All of them was specialized in pulling things out of the seas, pulling things out of the waters. Man, that's wild. He called them and they did what?
Immediately, they left the boat and their father and followed him.
And they father. They had no plan B, did they? Man, they was gone. They was gone. So let's go to, so that was Andrew, Peter, James, and John. That's 4 people who worked as fishermen out of his disciples. That's 4 out of the 12 right there. Let's look at John. John 21. Oh, that's verse 1. Let's read that. John chapter 21.
John chapter 21. After these things, Yahusha showed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. And in this way he showed himself. Simon Peter, Thomas, called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples were together.
Man, there was a few of them at this time, huh? Now this was after, I believe this was after the crucifixion. This was after Yahushua's crucifixion. So let's keep going.
Simon Peter said to them, I'm going fishing.
So he basically like, man, I'm gonna go fishing. because he just saw, what happened. Like, man, I'm going back fishing. Let's keep going.
They said to him, "We're going with you also."
Oh, snap. So there was a lot of fishermen as a part of his disciples, huh? Keep going.
They went out and immediately got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing.
Man, that's tough. That's tough. So let's see what happened.
But when the boater had now come, Yahusha stood on the shore. Yet the disciples did not know that it was Yahusha.
They ain't know it was him, though. And we'll see what Yahusha said. Keep going.
Then Yahusha said to them, "Children, have you any food?" They answered him, "No." And he said to them, "Cast the net on the right side of the boat,
Cast.
and you will find some." So they cast, and now they were not able to draw it in because of the multitude of fish.
So, after reading those two verses, man, you looking at Andrew, Peter, James, John, probably Thomas, Nathaniel, and Philip too were fishermen because they rode with him. They was like, "Oh, we going too." So you looking at 7 out of the 12 at least, they was into fishing. We know 4, they was fishing as that was their jobs. And the other 3, we don't know what their jobs were. But it possibly could have been fishing too, because they were like, "Man, we rolling with you." And they went fishing with them. And so these are the people Yahusha chose. That's all somebody. That's all Ruako. That was a reason for that, because they specialized in separating things out of the water. They were fishermen. That symbolizes the shamim. Come. Let's go to Matthew 14.
Con.
We're going to start with verse 22.
Ready?
All right, let's go.
Matthew chapter 14, verse 22. Immediately, Yahusha made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now in the 4th watch of the night, Yahusha went to them, walking on the sea.
He was doing what?
Walking on the sea.
Oh, that's showing dominion over the waters, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Dominion over the nations. He's walking on the waters. He's above the waters. Verse 26.
And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a ghost," and they cried out for fear. But immediately Yahusha spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Adonai, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Yahusha. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Adonai, save me." And immediately Yahusha stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?"
Ain't that what came out today? Y'all know that y'all know how Peter was able to walk on water? In other words, have dominion over the nations?
Focus on Yahusha.
Y'all on it, man. Y'all got it. Y'all with this.
Yep.
He fixed his eyes on Yahusha, y'all. He fixed his eyes on Yahusha. Now listen what happened, because this is the Ruach. This is the Ruach. I didn't know the Most High was going to say all that he said today. Because the winds and the waves got strong. He doubted. And that's what caused him to sink. It was the circumstances around him that he got caught up in instead of just keeping your eyes on Yahushua. And that's how he almost drowned. You're talking in the middle of the sea, y'all. You're talking about the middle, you know. That's when he started sinking. He got caught up in what was going on around him instead of just keep your eyes on Yahushua. Don't take your eyes off of Yahushua. Focus. Yeah, I know this happened. Yeah, I know that happened. Yeah, I know you don't know how you're going to get through this situation. Yeah, I know you don't know how that bill going to get paid. Focus on Yahushua. This stuff is real, man.
Yep, Mushala literally says he saw that the wind was boisterous. So that shows you right there that he took his eyes off of Yahushua.
One of the cherubs is the eagle, ain't it? Eagles are one of the most expert of the fishermen. They fly high above the seas and can see fish from miles away. So this is interesting. So my mom and them went to Alaska like maybe a month ago. Wasn't that long ago. And so she was showing me some of the videos and stuff. But I guess the bald eagle is real big in Alaska. There's a whole lot of them out there. And so they were on like a cruise ship or something in Alaska. I don't know. They said it was through. I ain't nothing I would have even thought about doing. But they was in Alaska. And it was beautiful, though. The videos and stuff was amazing. I was like, wow, it looks through out here. There was eagles way far away, and the dude it was like the guy that was on the cruise ship. He was like, "Watch this," and he took one of the fish. The fish was like this big. Eagle, like I'm talking, way. Watch this. Eagle way over there, turns directions, and you just see it coming back this way, and. Get the fish. They may be used to the cruise ships they throwing fish at them. I don't know. But still, for him to see that from way over there. Eagles are expert fishermen. Expert fishermen. This is another side note too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Got to throw this in there. Y'all know the eagle is with one. I didn't know this until the eagle stays with one mate its whole life. The eagle, they do the one husband, one wife thing. They don't do the multiple wives. Huh? Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy. So I know that the eagles and the doves and pigeons, they have one mate their whole life. I just thought that was interesting because of the sign of the eagle. The nations want dominion over the heavens and the seas. They do. That's what this was about. That's what this was about. This was not about them going and trying to look at a Titanic, y'all. You crazy if you think that. They were charging $250K a ticket. Something like that, right? About $200K a ticket? Oh, I was right, man. $250K a ticket, $250,000. $250,000 a ticket. You telling me... Listen how crazy people just buy anything that's on the news. You telling me these people gonna spend $250,000 to go down to go see a boat that wrecked? Well, you can see that on the video. They got pictures of it. And somebody gonna spend $250,000. Only the richest of the people would ever spend that type of money, and that's who was on there, billionaires and stuff like that. To go down 12,000 feet or so to the bottom of the ocean to go see the ship, and then you go back up. What? How, Sway? Let me tell you what was really going on, y'all. This was about, they're trying to build an ark. They're trying to build an ark. I'm telling you, everything that the Most High has for the code of shim to do, they trying to do the same thing. They trying to do the same thing. They trying to cop the nations, try to be like the Most High. And we should have known that because the nations are ran by who? Hasatan. And didn't Hasatan literally say, I'm going to be like the Most High. I'm going to ascend above the stars. I'm going to be like the Most High. This was an attempt to build an ark. I don't know if y'all remember, I did a lesson about this, so it's been a while, of how all those times when it talks about the prophets, they ended up being in a pit, and how there was no water in it, and how that symbolizes the ark, because every time they was go in a pit or something like that, that actually would always save them from getting killed. Even with Joseph, when they threw him in there, they was going to kill him. But he got preserved from that by going in the pit. That's why I said there was no water in it. The ark, they went inside the ark. They went inside the ark. The ark was a submersible. The ark, I'm talking about Noah's ark. Noah's ark was a submersible. They went inside the ark. Yahuwah closed the door. Were they able to close the door on this? No, they couldn't close the door from the end. Y'all study it. They can't close that from the inside. Somebody has to come and close the door, and they can't get out. Somebody has to come and get them out. That's just like the ark. That's Noah's ark. Noah's ark, they couldn't close that door from the inside. Yahuwah came and closed the door. They couldn't open the door. Yahuwah opened the door. The door was too big, too heavy. It's too much. They sealed the inside and outside with pitch, so there won't no water. So why? Won't no water get in? Why do you think that was sealed to where they can't open the door like that? So no water get in. Yeah, no leaks, nothing. No water can get in. Like that pitch is airtight. Like that's what it is. Yeah. They were trying to build an ark, and they had y'all thinking they was just trying to go look at the Titanic. They look at the old ship, look at rust. Oh, look at the broken piece right there. They paid $250K to do that. Oh, yeah. They invested all that money to go see some metal. Oh, yeah, okay. Do y'all know what Titan is? That's the allures of the other nations. That's Nephilim. That's what the Titans are. The Most High is not playing, man. The Most High is not playing. That wasn't really for everybody to even know about. The only reason why it came to everybody know about it because they end up not making it. See what I'm saying? If that wouldn't have been on nobody, that was for the elite to know about and to get involved in. And they might have would have took some pictures and said, "Look, we saw the Titanic." I'm not saying they wasn't trying to go down there with the Titanic. I'm not saying that they wasn't trying to do that. I don't know. But what I'm saying, that's not what it was about, though. Nah, that's not what it was about at all. That's just the cover. That's the cover. I ain't seen no commercials for it. I ain't see this on cable TV advertised for $250K. You coming? This is commercial. That wasn't for none of us to see. That wasn't for us. That was for the elite. These are for people who are building the ark to try to dodge the judgment that they know is coming. Y'all ever seen Black Panther 2? Who seen Black Panther 2? You saw how they had a whole civilization under the seas, under the waters? Man, look. They trying to see how to dodge the judgment that they know is coming. Yeah. Let's look at some things about the submersible. Let's look at some things about that. So this is from NBC News. This is from NBC News. This is titled. Oh no, I didn't put the title on there. Yeah, that's not it. It's like 5 things to know about the people, something like that, who died in the submersible. That was the real. That's just a URL to get to the website, the link. So so y'all just kind of read along because I'm trying to skim through this. They set off hoping for a rare glimpse of a storied wreck, but now find themselves at the center of their own dramatic tale at sea. A British billionaire and a prominent Pakistani businessman and his son are among the 5 people rescue crews are racing to find on board a submersible with a rapidly dwindling air supply. So this is when they were still looking for him. In the North Atlantic. OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush was also on the vessel. That's why I'm telling y'all, like, the CEO was on there. This ain't like they did not expect this, y'all. But I'm gonna show y'all. This ain't. I know some people are like, man, they were so dumb, man. How? I'm telling y'all, no, they ain't. That don't happen. That was Yahuwah. The CEO wouldn't have got on there if that was dangerous. The CEO of the company got on there. Y'all got to understand what really happened because they trying to make, they were so dumb. Oh, man, they got the PlayStation controller. It was made out of carbon fiber. That's what it was. They were stupid. No, man, look. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. The vessel vanished Sunday during a dive to explore the wreck of the Titanic, part of a tour offering explorers the opportunity to see the site up close for a significant sum. The submersible called Titan was on only its 3rd trip since OceanGate Expeditions began offering trips in 2021. British billionaire and adventurer Hamish Hardin was among the 5 people on the vessel. In a photo captured before Yom Rishon's dive, Hardin could be seen looking out from a vessel in a uniform with a badge that says Titanic Expedition Crew. Hardin's company, Action Aviation, says on its website that it was established in 2004, operating as a global sales company in business aviation. A post Yom Rishon on the billionaire's Instagram account said he was joining OceanGate's expedition as a mission specialist, typically a one-time crew member who pays a fee to join the effort. Due to the worst winter in Newfoundland in 40 years, this mission is likely to be the first and only manned mission to the Titanic in 2023. Hardin said in his post, he said that a window, take advantage of the windows. They try to take advantage of windows too. That a weather window had just opened up and that the team was going to attempt to dive the following day. Until then, we have a lot of preparations and briefings to do, he said. Hardin, who lives in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, holds the 3 Guinness World Records, including the longest duration at full ocean depth by a crewed vessel. Yeah. In March 2021, he and ocean explorer Victor Vescovo dived to the lowest depth of the Mariana Trench. In June 2022, he went into space. He went where? This is the type of people that went on the submersible, y'all. This dude done been in the space, and we know. So this is the nations are trying to have dominion in the shamim, the ma'im, and the haaretz. That's why when you read the scriptures, they talk about Yahuwah, who created the heavens, the seas, the earth, and everything in it. The Shamayim, Ma'im, Haaretz, and everything in it. It's Yahuwah who has dominion over these things. It's the same thing about trying to go to the moon, trying to go to space. Why were they trying to do that? Do y'all know how many billions of dollars that's been invested into NASA and them doing these things? And y'all think they were doing that just to explore? We just wanted to look and see what's out there. No, it was about building an ark. It's about trying to escape judgment. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that happened with the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel, what they were trying to do was they were trying to build an ark. We're going to build a tower that reaches up to shamim. Why would they want to do that? Why was the Most High mad about that? I'll submit to you it's because this was right after the flood of Noah happened. They felt the way to dodge that from happening again is we can build a tower up into the shamim. We can get together, we can unite, and we can build, and we can go to space, basically. That way, if it floods, we'll be all right. This dude had already been to space. I know. Yeah, that's not the point. The point is, it says here he was a space guy. He went into space on Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket, according to the Associated Press. This is just giving you an idea of the type of people who got on this ship, is what I'm saying. He wasn't just going there to look at a piece of metal. Prominent Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood. What? Dawood? Oh, man. Really trying to be like the Most High. 48. 48 and his son Suleiman Dawood. Oh, man, hold up. Oh, snap. This is crazy, y'all. I ain't catch that the first one. 19 were also identified as being on board the vessel by family and by one of Dawood's businesses. Man, that's wild to me, man, because that's crazy. Said, we are very grateful for the concern being shown by our colleagues and friends and would like to request everyone to pray for their safety while granting the family privacy at this time. The family is well looked after and are praying to their allure for the safe return of their family members. The family said, we at Ingro remain in prayer for their swift and safe return and will share any updates we may have as and when they come. Ingro, the company where Dawood serves as vice chairman of the firm's board, said the father and son, who are both British citizens, belong to one of Pakistan's most prominent families. These are billionaires. Their firm invests in agricultural industries and the health sector, while Shahzada Dawood is also on the board of trustees for the California-based SETI Institute, which searches for what? Extraterrestrial. Oh, but they was just gonna look at metal though. They were just trying to see what they want to see the propellers. That's why they went down there. They just wanted to see history in real life, like the news was saying. They giving it all away without even knowing. They trying to build, they know what's coming. When you're talking about these billionaires and stuff, they really know what's coming because that's the reason why they so rich. They be in covenant with the Marine Kingdom. They done made oaths and pacts. They done made deals to where on a whole nother level. A lot of them, man, they on such a high level in the Marine Kingdom that they done communicated to some of these other beings before. That's why they where they are. Some of them are part of the other beings. Some of them are Nephilim. Man, we went to this, did y'all see with them people on the airplane, with that girl on the airplane? She was like, that dude is not real. That dude is not real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And everybody just thought she was drunk. We just experienced that at a conference we was at. So, yeah, these dudes, some of these people were not human, man, I'm telling you. Like, so this one guy, he was a health doctor. So Uriah kept telling me, but you know, that's Uriah. So, you know, she be ruakal about everything. So I was just taking it with a grain of salt. Hey, this one dude, he was not human. I'm telling you, it was something, man, that dude was not, he was a, I like, okay, yeah, that's just how, some people, they just, they of the heathen, they not, the Most High, so yeah, I just moved on, and then I went into one of his things where he was speaking. I was like, oh man, this dude is like a reptilian or something. Man, it looked like he had taped on the skin that he had on. He was pure white. He had no color. and his face was like plastic. Yeah. And then when he was talking, have y'all ever seen The Mask with Jim Carrey? And when he put on the mask, how you doing? There's smiles and stuff, and it's just like it's like a plastic face, man. And he was like speaking, and you just looking at his eyes. This dude was not no human, bro. That's why that girl tripped out on the plane like that. She probably saw one of them people. He was like, hey, yeah, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna and you know, and so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna and that's how he was doing. I was like, man, this dude is not human. There's something wrong with this dude. And he kept like the same facial features the whole time. How's it going? Yeah, so like, and there was another female. She was like this female was like a top. We're talking about the political party. That girl looked like a Ferengi alien. She was not real. She was not human. I don't remember ever seeing nobody that looked like that. I'm sorry. Cause she had like you could see her legs cause she had like on a dress. And her legs looked like plastic, like she looked like a real alien, man. These are like elite people. These are like people at high levels in Babylon. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And so, when that lady was on the airplane and she was saying that, I was like, oh yeah, that probably was one of them, like them people we had saw. I'm telling y'all, he is not real. I'm trying to tell you, I'm getting off the plane. I wouldn't have cared though. I would have stayed on the plane. I would just stay back here. You know what I'm saying? You stay over there. Oh, she was sitting right on the side of him though? Yeah, that's tough right there now. We have to at least switch seats or something, man. But I just wanted to show y'all this so y'all can see. So I'm not just talking. Like, this is, when you read and you see the people who actually got on the submersible, these are not just billionaires who wanted to see a ship. These are people who have history in trying to figure out ways to they're trying to go to space. They're looking into extraterrestrials, all that stuff. If you now it's different when you got Joe Bob coming out of the trailer home and he said he saw him a UFO last week. No, we talking about billionaires who are well researched, who are well learned, who are studying extraterrestrial activity. See what I'm saying? You know why he's studying extraterrestrial activity? Because either he extraterrestrial or he been dealing with them before. All right, anyway, let's keep going. So I'm going to probably get going and keep it moving. I think I made my point with this. What was I at? I was talking about Dawood. Yeah, let me show y'all this. Let's read this. So this is regarding one of the other people that were on the boat. He was a French guy, a diver. It says, he is considered a leading authority on the Titanic wreckage, according to a biography on the site. Negrole has led several. Man, his name is Negrole? He needs some glasses or something. Negrole has led several expeditions. No, I'm being silly, y'all. No, that is. Has led several expeditions to the Titanic wreckage site, completing at least 35 dives in submersibles and supervising the recovery of at least 5,000 artifacts, including the recovery of the big piece, a 20-ton section of the Titanic's hull. Oh, but you thought he would have went on there. But you thought he would have went on there. He was dumb though. Yeah, they didn't know what they was doing. He went on to the plastic ship and imploded. And they didn't know what they was doing. Like he ain't do his research and make sure that was through before he went on that thing. This is somebody who done been down there and been in submersibles plenty of times. All right, we'll leave it at that, though. So the submersibles, they were looking into ways to dodge the judgment that they knew was coming. They know it's coming. It's similar to the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was Babylon trying to build an ark. They've been trying to go to space, which did not work. Now they're looking below to see if there's a way they can escape the judgment by going to the water. They've been trying to go to space since the 60s and 70s to try to it's not working. It's not working. So they're looking underwater too. Y'all know how long they've been going underwater, going down there? Since the 60s and 70s. The same amount of time they've been going to space, the same amount of time they've been diving down there, y'all. They're trying to build an ark. They're trying to find a way to dodge the judgment, and they're looking in the shamim and in the mayim. So at the conference I just told y'all about, there was a guy that we met. Y'all remember him? So this is a thing called Seasteading. He was the expert, and he's actually leading this charge. He's an expert, and he wrote books on it. Again, these guys are like, I just put it at that. So I'm gonna just show a short video so y'all can see what seasteading is. Because this all goes back to what, so the whole conference we was at, it was a whole conference about how to dodge the judgment that was coming. That's basically all. It was a whole bunch of, Yeah, they had, we didn't go to that one. I forgot about that. Did you go to the one on space when they were talking about trying to go to space? Yep. The whole conference was the other nations getting together to try to come up with a way to dodge the judgment that was coming. Now, this is the way they disguise the judgment. Global warming is getting bad, and it's gonna, or they'll say something like, "Oh, the governments are getting more worse." They'll say that what they're saying is that judgment is coming to the earth. Right now, the hole in the ozone layer. So, we need to figure out something. We need to see how we can live somewhere else, because if things are going the way that it's going to go, the earth's going to be destroyed. They thought that you just don't need to drive as much cars. That'll do it. That'll dodge the judgment. Let's not drive as many cars. Check your emissions. Let's look at this video.
Why do governments get better at all? In the Middle Ages, the feudal system dominated Europe. Kings, lords, and armed mercenaries plundered peasants, who often starved. Few imagined that better government was possible. But how did it get better? A small group of persecuted refugees fled to a marsh and founded a society on shaky ground. This startup city was based not on kings and killing, but merchants and markets. The Serene Republic of Venice, as it was then called, came to dominate the Mediterranean for 1,000 years, setting a model that changed the world forever. Venetian entrepreneurs adopted the best practices of Western Europe, the Byzantine Empire, and the Islamic world, and advanced many of the foundational institutions of modern free enterprise: international banking, insurance, joint stock companies, even double-entry bookkeeping. Venice produced so much wealth. Some of the most creative people in the world moved there and initiated what became known as the Italian Renaissance. The people of the marsh got a rare opportunity to start over with a blank slate. In spite of all their moral failings, torture, assassination, astounding greed, mankind began to emerge from barbarism and develop the principles of civil society. Blank slates are hard to come by, but the search for new frontiers never stopped. A few centuries later, 17th century Europe became an oppressive place for all sorts of misfit people. Many of these oddballs fled to the New World, bringing with them their zany ideas, among them that people should govern themselves by vote. The misfits demonstrated that the naive utopian ideals of democracy and constitutional republics could work better than the kingdoms that prevailed in Europe. There were true faults: genocide, slavery, child abuse. But the startup societies in North America created innovations that utterly changed the rest of the world. Centuries later, authoritarian communism came to dominate a third of the human population. Millions of people starved, and millions more were murdered, but the people in power didn't want to change. So why did it change? Communism didn't fall because opponents won a war or a debate. Communism fell because freedom set a better example that everybody in communist countries could see. The free black market worked better than the controlled legal market. And most communists just didn't believe in their system anymore. It wasn't just because of nuclear bombs or politicians saying, tear down this wall. It was blue jeans and the Beatles that caused communism to fall. Freedom was just more fun and produced better stuff. Free markets worked better than force, and everybody could see it. If people hadn't tried new arrangements in North America, would there even be a free world to show people in communist countries a better way? So we know what makes governments better. Alternatives, options, a chance to step away, try something new, and see if you can attract people to move there. The more experiments, the more surprising solutions and shocking failures we discover. As long as people have the freedom to leave experiments they don't like and choose the ones they do, the bad ideas go bankrupt and the good ideas change the world. What if I told you there's a technology for that? Nearly half the world's surface is unclaimed by any country. Bob Ballard, the famous ocean explorer who discovered the sunken Titanic, for floating societies is at hand. Seasteading seeks to radically accelerate the means by which people experiment with new societies. As long as people can create seasteads voluntarily, join them voluntarily, and, most crucially, quit them voluntarily, a diverse market of governance providers will emerge. Floating neighborhoods can disassemble and move about like a jigsaw puzzle, increasing the power of governance consumers to choose new societies, and creating the incentives for governance providers to innovate to please residents. This will rapidly increase the rate of peaceful innovation in governance. We landfolk are stuck in a dark ages of government. We need our Venice. We need 1,000 Venices. Half the earth waits for us to demonstrate better societies can work. Long before we go to Mars, we're going to populate the ocean with sustainable startup societies. As the Renaissance artist Michelangelo said, criticize by creating. To learn more about this bright future, go to seasteading.org and read Seasteading.
So y'all get what seasteading is? It's basically the nations trying to colonize the ocean now. They serious, y'all. They already been trying. They already started certain communities where they building up little cities in the middle of the ocean. I know it was one community that tried, and then the government actually, I think it was because they were some miles away from, I think, Taiwan or somebody. The closest government came and actually seized them, and that was some years ago. But they're trying again. The dudes, they serious. They got a lot of money. These are people with big money who can invest in these things, and they serious. They trying to dodge what's coming to the nations. They trying to dodge the judgments. And so one big thing they trying to do is, okay, let's just live in the middle of the ocean. We can build these floating cities, basically. It was crazy, and the dude was basically, he was bragging. He was like, man, you don't even have to have no sewage systems, man. You can just use the bathroom in the ocean. And I was like, oh, you think the Most High is going to be cool with y'all? Y'all already done polluted the nations done polluted and jacked up everything already on the earth. And they done jacked up the oceans too pretty bad. But could you imagine if they start building cities in the ocean? Oh, y'all trying to kill everything. Yeah, he was excited about that. He thought that was a good selling point. Y'all trying to build on land and stuff. Y'all got to figure out what you're going to do for the sewage and stuff. You don't got to figure that out on the ocean. I'm like, man, what? Oh, man. So did y'all hear when he referenced Bob Ballard, who was the first person who saw the Titanic? So you see, even when you look at that video, they're referencing about the people who went down and been submersing down there, going and looking at the Titanic. So I want y'all to see who Bob Ballard is real quick. Oh yeah, they were at the conference. Bob Ballard. He's the first one who discovered the Titanic, I believe that they were saying.
On all of this, Bob Ballard, a renowned oceanographer and explorer, is joining us right now. Bob, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. I understand, you know, obviously you were part of the mission that discovered the Titanic, and you've been down there, I am being told, on about 150 dives to the wreckage. Just want to get your take on the news that we're hearing breaking right now.
Well, I didn't make that many dives. I made the first 12 that were ever made on the Titanic, and then I went back with remotely operated vehicles last time in 2004. But yes, it's very tragic what happened.
Initially, when you first learned that the vehicle was lost, that perhaps something catastrophic may have happened?
Well, you have to understand that we began taking vehicles into the deep sea with the historic dive of the Thresher, the Trieste in Challenger Deep in 1960. We've made thousands and thousands of dives with different vehicles, whether they're French, whether they're Russian, whether they're American, and we've never had, ever, in the history of these extreme deep diving programs, ever lost a vehicle.
I want y'all to hear this. They've been doing this since the 60s, thousands, and never lost a vehicle. Y'all got to understand this, y'all. They trying to make it like.
So this is a first. And so you naturally go to, how does this vehicle differ from the vehicles that we've been using for many years? And it did have a very experimental hull, and obviously that hull imploded.
And Bob, do you think, given what happened here, that there ought to be an end or at least a temporary pause?
Y'all, it was the Most High, y'all. They're trying to figure out what they're saying because they use carbon fiber. They said that was experimental using the carbon fiber. Man, it was the Most High, y'all. If it was the carbon fiber, that's not the first time that they went down there and that, and it didn't happen before. They said that was the third time they went down there with that. So it's the carbon fiber. How come it didn't happen the first two times then? This was the Most High, y'all. They got to blame it on something. They got to figure out something to say that it was something's fault. That's just how that goes. They knew what they were doing. This is something they've been doing since the 60s. Even the CEO was on that submersible. They're not going to do nothing like that unless they done their research and they know that this stuff is generally safe, generally speaking. They're trying to build an ark. It's about colonization.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.